What is good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a team that I saw on Chillis FM's channel, which consists of Vulpix in the lead, Tackle CHIKORITA, and the Shadow Bulbasaur in the back. So the reason I decided to run this team was I've kind of been in the trenches lately trying to make a Shadow Poliwag team work, but I've only had negative sets, so I've lost quite a bit of elo, and Chillis was able to reach the 3400s with this team, so I figured I would give it a go and see if I was able to climb. So this team does perform pretty well. Like, my first set that I played with this team was a 5-0, and this here is my second set, and I decided to show this set instead just so that I could show some wins and some losses. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into these matches here. So first match, we have the Bulbasaur lead. So a lot of times the Bulbasaur likes to try to catch a Weather Ball on either a Fire or Water type. So I go ahead and throw the Body Slam, anticipating that. So we managed to throw a Body Slam onto a Growlithe, which is pretty good for us. And now we're just going to go for the full farm down so that we have energy to threaten whatever is in the back. So let's see what the opponent brings back in here, and they actually decide to bring back in the Bulbasaur, which means that they're likely very weak to the Vulpix in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and shield, even though I know it's just a Seed Bomb, to preserve the health on my Vulpix, and they let this go. So they end up having a Shadow Execute in the back, so saving both shields for the Execute. And I go for a Body Slam there just to kind of BM a little bit, since I know they're definitely going to shield that, and then I go for the Weather Ball this time around, just in case, like, because they saw me throw a Body Slam once, they might figure I'd throw it again. But now we're in a pretty comfortable position. We should just be able to close out this match, but I got to sauce on them a little bit more with a little catch on my Bulbasaur, and they're not actually going to be able to farm us down before we get to a Vine Whip. So sorry I had to do like that, but it'd be like that sometimes. Good games to my opponent. Next match here, we have a Vulpix into Seal, so not a good lead for us, but we have two better answers in the back, so we're going to go ahead and swap into the Tackle CHIKORITA here. And we're definitely not going to be able to regain Switch here, as they are resisting all our fast and charge moves while they're doing neutral with their tackle damage. So we're going to go ahead and let this go. This is definitely not an ideal situation for us, since we do not want our Vulpix aligned to the Seal, but we're going to try to make the best of it and farm up a little bit of extra energy before taking out this Ferroseed here. So I'm going to build up a little bit more. I don't actually know the counts on the Ferroseed, so I'm kind of just going by feel here. Maybe could have overfarmed a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and get this Weather Ball off, and they bring the Seal back in. I swap into my Bulbasaur, and they bring in their Vulpix. So at this point, it's pretty much over. They will be able to survive a Seed Bomb from us, and it takes us longer to get to the Sludge Bombs here. So, yeah, they're going to be able to outpace us here. So I'm going to just throw these Seed Bombs, since they would still chunk quite a bit if they let it through. And I'm going to get this next one off. They decide not to shield it, and I think my best chance at winning maybe is to farm them down. So I decide to shield this move, and we should be able to reach a Seed Bomb here pretty quickly. And we're going to be able to get it off, but it's not going to be enough because we still need to reach at least 2 Body Slams on our CHIKORITA here, or not CHIKORITA, the Vulpix here. But we can't even manage to do that, and they're going to take us out there. So GG's to that opponent. Next match here, we have a Wooper lead, so we definitely want our grass types on this. So we're going to go ahead and swap into our CHIKORITA, and we're able to lure out a Snover here, which I haven't seen too much of in this cup, but we're going to go ahead and get this Body Slam off. They shield, which is kind of okay for us. Like, we're probably not going to be able to maintain the alignment that we want here, but now we are going to come back in here with our Vulpix and get a pretty nasty farm down here. I'm likely just going to shield once and farm them all the way down, just so that I have some energy ready to threaten whatever comes in next, which is likely going to be the Wooper. So, but energy on Vulpix is very valuable, as the Body Slams hit like for at least 50% on a lot of the things in this meta here. So opponent waiting out their clock, we bring in our Bulbasaur to get a couple of Vine Whips off before they swap. And here I'm just going to go straight for the Sludge Bomb because the Seed Bomb would be double resisted, and we were ahead on energy before they swapped in. So they try to call the bait and they get one shot, and that is a GG for me. So next match here we have a Vulpix mirror match, and they swap out immediately into the Dewpider, and this is my best answer to the Dewpider, so I'm going to go ahead and stay in here with my Vulpix for a bit. But I do want to swap out at some point to preserve my Vulpix for their Vulpix, just because that is my best answer. So I'm going to tank this Bulba Beam, which doesn't do all that much, and then swap into my Bulbasaur after gaining up some energy. But that ends up kind of being a misplay here, since I do allow them to reach the Mirror Coat here that will take us out. So I end up not shielding it, just because I feel like we would have been in a pretty bad position regardless of whether we shielded that or not. But we decide to go for the extra farm down on the Dewpider, and let's see what the opponent brings back in here. They decide to bring back in a Seal, so this isn't great for us because, as you can see here, Seal is very tanky, and even though we're going to be able to get 3 of these body slams off, they're going to be able to survive all 3 of them. And since they have the Vulpix, it's going to be a little bit tricky for us, but I figured with the tackle version of the Chikorita we might be able to pull something here. But it turns out that their Vulpix is an Ember Vulpix, so they're just going to be able to farm me all the way down, and that is going to be a GG's to my opponent there. So very well played by them, and the Ember Vulpix really caught me off guard there. So I believe this is the final match, so we have a Dewpider lead, and obviously we want to stay in here. But they swap into the Seal, so we're going to hard counter them with our Shadow Bulbasaur here. So, gonna get off this Seed Bomb, and they actually decide to shield, so I'm just going to match shield so that I can maintain the alignment that I need. And our Bulbasaur should be pretty healthy coming out of this matchup anyways, so we will have energy to threaten the Dewpider if it decides to come back in, or anything else really, since the Sludge Bomb does hit very hard, even against the Fire types and other grass types. So we're in a pretty dominating position here. Even though we're debuffed, we're going to be able to farm them all the way down. We're 1 away from the Sludge Bomb, and we should be able to get it off on whatever comes in next. So they bring the Dewpider in, and I get this Sludge Bomb off, and as you're going to see here, it does heavy damage. It puts them into the yellow, and here's a little bit of a questionable play. Like, I didn't really have to swap into my Vulpix here, just because they were in farm down range, or we were in farm down range. Like, they only had 1 more fast move to throw, so by swapping we really only saved them from gaining 1 fast move, and then we caught ourselves in some unfavorable alignment. But thankfully our Vulpix is able to survive a Mud Bomb here, and then we're just going to be able to clean up this game with our Chikorita here. So I bring the Bulbasaur in to simul KO their Wooper, and then I build up to a Body Slam and take out their Dewpider here. So pretty interesting matches here, I'd say. Overall, the team does perform pretty well, and definitely give it a try if you're trying to make a last minute push before this cup goes away. So yeah, link to Chillis FM's video on this team will be linked in the description. And yeah, that's all for today's video. Happy Thanksgiving to all my American viewers. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also submit your battles in the link in the description below. And I'll see you in the next one.